There are words that stay with us forever, not the ones spoken with cruelty by strangers, not the ones said by people who never matter. The ones that stay, the ones that quietly shape who we become, are the ones spoken by the people we loved most. The ones we trusted completely, the ones we needed more than anyone else in the world, our parents. And sometimes, not out of hatred, not out of malice, but out of their own pain, their own unhealed wounds, their own limitations. They said things that left marks we are still carrying today. Things that were said so casually, so repeatedly, that we stopped questioning whether they were true and simply began to believe them. Today, I want to talk about 8 of those things. Not to blame, not to judge, but because understanding where a wound came from is the first step toward healing it. The first one, why can't you be more like your brother or sister? This sentence does something devastating to a child. It tells them that who they are is not enough, that love is comparative, that they are always one step behind someone else in their own home. Children who hear this grow up believing they must constantly compete for worth, that being themselves will never quite measure it. The second one, you are too sensitive. When a child cries, when a child feels deeply, when a child expresses pain, and the response is you are too sensitive, they learn to distrust their own emotional experience. They learn that their feelings are a problem, that vulnerability is weakness, and they spend the rest of their lives apologizing for feeling things too much. The third one, I do everything for you, and this is how you repay me. This is perhaps the most quietly damaging of all because it turns love into debt. It teaches a child that affection must be earned, that care comes with a price, that the natural give and take of love is actually a ledger, and they are always behind. The fourth one, stop crying, or I will give you something to cry about. This one shuts down emotional expression completely. It teaches a child that their pain is not only unimportant, it is an inconvenience. It teaches them to swallow hurt before it shows. And swallowed hurt does not disappear. It goes underground, and it surfaces years later in ways neither the parent nor the child fully understands. The fifth one, you are so stupid, or lazy, or useless, or worthless. These labels, said once, said in frustration, said without thinking, are heard by a child as permanent truth. Because children do not have the emotional framework to say my parent is wrong about me right now. They hear I am stupid and they build a life around proving that label right, or exhausting themselves trying to prove it wrong. The sixth one, you will never amount to anything. This sentence is a ceiling placed directly over a child's potential. And the cruelest thing about it is that many children spend their entire lives either collapsing under that ceiling or breaking themselves trying to break through it, carrying the voice of the person who put it there every single step of the way. The seventh one, because I said so. Now this one is more subtle. Said occasionally, it is simply a boundary, but said constantly, as the only answer to every question, it teaches a child that their curiosity does not matter, that their need to understand the world is an annoyance. That authority does not owe them explanation, and those children grow up either blindly obedient or quietly rebellious, neither of which is whole. The eighth one, and this one might be the hardest to hear, silence. The absence of I love you, the absence of I am proud of you, the absence of you matter to me, because sometimes it is not what was said, it is what was never said at all. And a child who grows up waiting to hear words that never come learns to fill that silence with doubt, with unworthiness. With a hunger for validation, they spend decades trying to satisfy in all the wrong places. If any of these words were said to you, I want you to hear something clearly. Those words were never the truth about you. They were the overflow of someone else's pain. Someone who was themselves carrying wounds they never healed. Someone who loved you as best they could with what they had, even when what they had was not enough. You are allowed to acknowledge the hurt. You are allowed to say that it mattered. And you are allowed to decide, perhaps for the very first time, that none of those sentences get to define you anymore. The story of who you are is still being written, and you are holding the pen. If this touched something in you, share it with someone who needs to